You know, we often picture missionaries as heroes of faith. They seem like these brave figures in distant lands, always filled with joy and purpose. Their lives appear exciting, noble, almost like a grand adventure for God. But honestly, this image isn't always complete. It can hide a deeper truth, a more complex human story. The reality involves untold struggles. Behind those brave smiles, life unfolds in ways we rarely see. There can be profound loneliness, a deep ache for the familiar. Culture shock can feel overwhelming, and wow, new languages are hard to learn. Financial worries often linger quietly in the background. These are burdens carried silently, not often shared in those glowing newsletters. These struggles are part of the calling, a hidden cost of obedience. Not all missionaries are the same, you know. They come from diverse backgrounds, and their callings lead them to all sorts of work. Some teach children in small schools, others drill wells for clean water. Some translate sacred texts with care, or offer comfort in refugee camps. Each path is unique, personal. Their experiences differ greatly too, and so much depends on unseen factors. One crucial factor shapes their lives, and that's the system of financial support. It's a practical, earthly matter, yet it touches everything deeply. It can be a lifeline, or it can be a heavy chain. This single difference creates two worlds, two very different missionary experiences. We really need to look closer at this to understand their true journey. So meet Sarah, a missionary teacher. She serves in a bustling city overseas, and her church, along with a large organization, supports her. This support is full and consistent. She doesn't have to worry about her next meal or if rent money will arrive. This kind of financial peace is a gift. It allows her to focus entirely. Her energy is for her students and the community she serves daily. Sarah can really pour herself into her work. She plans lessons with creativity, mentors young local teachers, and spends extra time with struggling children. Her mind is free from fundraising stress. She knows her needs are met, and this allows her spirit to be generous. Her presence is calm and reassuring, a steady light in her community. This is the fruit of good support. Because her funding is secure, Sarah can visit her family back home. She returns once every 2 years, and these visits are just so vital for her. She reconnects with loved ones, shares her stories, her heart. She rests and recharges her spirit. These trips prevent deep burnout. They remind her she is not alone. She returns to the field renewed. The benefits of Sarah's support are really clear. She experiences less chronic stress, her physical health is often better, and her emotional well-being is more stable. She feels valued by her sending church, and this affirmation fuels her difficult work. She can plan for the long term, so her ministry can grow deeper roots. This support is more than just money. It's a tangible expression of care. Now, consider David, a different story entirely. He works in a remote rural village, and his calling is just as strong as Sarah's. He helps establish sustainable farming, but David must raise all his own support. He writes countless letters to individuals, makes calls to churches, hoping for help. His financial ground feels ever shifting, a constant gnawing uncertainty. This burden is really heavy to carry. The emotional toll for David is immense. He deeply misses his family. He hasn't been home in 5 years. Plane tickets are a distant dream. He missed his sister's wedding, and he grieved his grandfather's passing alone. The isolation can feel crushing. He sees photos, hears voices on calls, but it just isn't the same. This separation is a silent sacrifice, and honestly, this struggle directly impacts his work. Hours that could be spent with villagers are instead spent on support letters or wrestling with a failing laptop. He can't afford to replace it easily. Small emergencies become major crises. He makes hard choices daily between a personal need and ministry. The work continues, but with friction, a constant undercurrent of strain. David's personal sacrifices are many. He lives very simply, often without. He postpones his own dental care, wears clothes until they are threadbare. This isn't a chosen asceticism. It's born of stark necessity. There is a weariness in his eyes, a different kind from physical labor. It is the weariness of constant need and the ache of being far away. Comparing Sarah and David's daily lives, we see two profoundly different realities. Sarah wakes with a measure of peace, knowing her basic needs are covered. David wakes with a familiar anxiety. Will this month's support arrive on time? Sarah can dream bigger for her ministry, while David often focuses on just getting by. Both serve God with faithful hearts, but their paths are unequally paved. This difference in support really affects interaction. Sarah has more emotional energy, she can be more present for others. Her long-term vision remains clearer. David, though dedicated, fights fatigue. The stress of finances can be distracting. It can make it harder to connect deeply or to plan for sustainable futures. The community might sense this strain, even if David tries to hide it. The support a missionary receives or does not receive sends a message. Consistent support is an act of partnership. It says, "We are with you in this." It values the worker and the work. Lack of adequate support can feel like neglect, a silent, unintentional burden added. Missionaries like David may feel forgotten, their sacrifice compounded by financial worry. This is a truth we really have to face. Why do these differences in support matter? They matter for the missionary's soul, for their health, their family, their spirit. They matter for the people they serve. A well-supported missionary is often more effective. They can serve from a place of wholeness. Churches and organizations must understand this. Thoughtful, committed support is not just charity. It is an investment in God's work and in the precious lives called to it.